Tanzite stone decks is a floating stone system that can be used to cover an existing wood deck or a vinyl deck. It can cover old concrete or paving stone, and can even go directly on the ground. A Tanzite stone deck is basically built like any other deck, except covered in stone. So you have your posts set on piles, then a beam, then joists on 2-foot centers. Now, since this is a waterproof deck, you need a bit of a slope to direct the water away from your house. You should have about 1/4 inch of slope per 4 foot of deck. Then cover the joists with 5/8 plywood. Since it is waterproof, the wood would normally not need to be treated. However, since the stone will last forever, if budget allows, we recommend putting the joist on 16-inch centers, using 3/4 inch plywood and everything pressure treated. Waterproofing is simple with an EPDM roofing membrane that we sell in almost any size. No seams or joints to deal with. This membrane just lays over the wood, no glue or adhesive, and you just move it into place. At the house, you can just run it up the wall like this, so there is no seam. If needed, you can also glue the membrane to an existing flashing here. The other side just lays over the edge, and then cut it off after you install the bullnose, so you don't see it. The bullnose pieces simply sit on the edge and are laid right next to each other and screwed down. The holes come pre-drilled and countersunk to hide the screw. There is also this 90-degree corner bullnose. These bullnose pieces are 1 foot deep, so they make nice step treads for the stairs. Then the risers. The sides of the deck can be covered with concrete fiberboard and the bullnose wheel cover and protect the top edge. The rest of the stones come with the spacers attached, and you can just lay them down like this, and the spacers keep the gaps even. You can also pull off the spacers and use them on a cut edge to maintain the proper gap. To cut the stone, use a diamond blade on a table saw. A diamond blade on a grinder also works well, especially for little intricate cuts. If you can adjust the size of the deck slightly, you can then build the frame such that you won't need to do many stone cuts. Tanzite stone is made by taking rock and putting it under a huge amount of pressure and heat to literally melt it into a perfect rock. Its 0% porosity means it can't really stain and doesn't fade from the sun. The surface is not slippery even when wet, and the finish is virtually indestructible. See, not a scratch. This could be a shovel in the winter or a rock in your boot. To mount railing on top, simply drill holes through the stone and then screw the posts into the wood structure, same as any other wood deck. To drill the stone, use a diamond hole saw like this. Tanzite stone is only 20 millimeters thick. That means it's often thin enough to go over top of your concrete or paving stone, yet still fit under the door. Now, just sweep in the polymeric sand to fill the joints and then make it wet. The water will activate the polymer and harden it like a grout. However, it does maintain some flexibility. If you need to touch up a spot or make a repair, simply sprinkle on some extra polymeric sand and wet it with a spray bottle. Of course, you should always check your local building codes. The Tanzite does add about 5% of the loaded weight, so we recommend building your deck 5% stronger than the minimum building code. A Tanzite stone deck is basically built like any other deck, except covered in stone. The cost is similar to quality plastic decking, but is made out of stone. If you want to build something to last, you build it from stone. And to build something for Canadian weather, it also needs to handle movement. And that's why a Tanzite stone deck is the best deck.